Hello, welcome to the following session of Installed Exterior Cladding. My name is Habineza Michel.
And I am Habimana Gabriel Devot. We are both trainers at Royal Tibet School.
In the last video, we prepared pieces and produced the joints.
Let's now proceed with throw assembly and application of finishes.
Enjoy the lesson.
Hello everyone, my name is Seti Munyehirwe, the carpentry trainer at Royal Tibet School. Today we have lesson 3 in exterior cladding, which is about assembly and application of the finishes. This lesson has got some objectives. The first one is that at the end you will be able to produce the drawings used in exterior cladding installation. The second objective is that you will be able to perform the trial assembly. And then the last objective that you have is that you will be able to apply the finishes on the pieces of the cladding. Before we start, I just want to encourage you to follow well and take notes where it is necessary, so that in case you want to repeat the steps, it can be easier for you. To be able to assemble the cladding pieces, we need to use drawings. That's why we have different drawings that can be used. So today I selected 3 drawings commonly used, and the ones that we are going to discuss about. The first one that we have, it's a batt drawing. The batt drawing, you just take the cladding pieces, especially the exterior sidings, and then you lay one over the other, so as they are here. If I take away the piece, there is no special connection which is there between. We just have to put the pieces together. But to have this drawing more successful, you can put the inclination, so which will drain the water away. Besides the batt drawing, you can also use tongue and groove drawing. So it's this drawing we have here. This is the groove and this is the tongue. It will commonly be used in case you have, let's say, the cladding formats in vertical position. So this is where the tongue and groove drawing will be commonly used. Ship wrap rebated joint, or rebated joint ship wrap, however you can say that. So it's another joint that you can use, especially when you need a very excellent aesthetic on the cladding sidings. So it's this joint we have here, and from the front it really looks nice. We will use batt joint, and we use also the tongue and groove joint. We are going to produce the tongue and groove, and that's why, as we discussed about the milling heads that we have, this is the right one that we will use. What we are going to do then is to do the adjustments, and then we start to produce this tongue and groove. So the knives you have inside now, as you can see, they are just for tongue. So we will produce the tongue, and then after we produce the groove. After putting the milling head in the spindle, what we are going to do now is to adjust the speed. So I use this milling head to show you how it works, because it's the same for all of the milling heads. What I have to do, I have to read on the milling head. It's written there. So like this one, it says N 5,000 up to 8,400. So this means it's the range in which I should select the speed on which I have to run the milling head. So I will do the same. I read what is on this tongue and groove milling head, and then I can select the good speed, and then I put it in the machine. This one says 5,100 up to 8,200. What I do, I will put the maximum speed, and then I also choose the speed I need. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to adjust the milling head so that I am able to produce the tank. When we are operating router, we can use the feeder. So just to help us to feed and to press down the workpiece. So what we are going to do now, we adjust the feeder. So the advantage for the feeder is that you can make perfect drawing, let's say. So now everything is adjusted. So I have to check if the danger zone is okay, and then I check once again if everything is fixed. And then I can start the machine. But before, maybe you did not see it, here we can change the rotation. So I want the rotation in which way that I can work from this side. As we are done to produce the tank, we are going to produce the groove. But then if the groove, we are going to change the knives. So there is nothing very special except that you have to respect the rotation of the milling head. So then this means all knives should be fixed in the way that they allow the rotation of the milling head, and then later the milling head can be able to cut easily. And as this is done, we are going to fix it again, and then we can produce the tank. this is now our result, and we will do the same for all of the pieces. What you are going to do now is to do the trial assembly. So normally for exterior cladding, it's hard, let's say, to do the trial assembly for all of the pieces. But we will do the trial assembly for some of the pieces, mainly to check how they are fitting together. And then if we find that they are fitting in a proper way, it means that for all of the pieces, it will be fine. The pieces are not cut on the final length. The reason is because we always have to consider that the site where we fix them, it's not perfect. We leave them wrong, and then we can cut them later. That's even why we are going to perform the trial assembly, but with the wrong piece, which are even not cut. And then later, when we will be on the site for the final assembly, this is when we can cut them. The tools that we need, they're just power drillers. One for fixing the screws. So this means we also need the screws. And another one for making the pre-drilling, just before we fix the screws. In general, this is how this cladding will be fixed. So we did it horizontally just because we are in the workshop. But just for the final assembly, then it will be vertical and the joist fixed in the wall. When the preparation of the pieces and the trial assembly is done, we need to do the finishing of the pieces, especially the exterior siding. There are different options that we can do. For me, I'm going to use clear lacquer, but there is also another possibility that you can use paint, you can use varnish, or you can use other different finishing. I will use the spray gun because it's faster and it can give me the good finishing. But before I apply the finishes, I did the sanding or the smoothing with the sanding paper of P120 and P180 so that later the surface will be smoothed. We are going to mount the spray gun, and then later we have to start applying the finishes or applying this clear lacquer. I will just leave the bottom side not sprayed so that I can be able to dry the piece in a good way, and then later I will spray another side. And now I can take this piece to the drying place. In order to have good finishing, before we apply the second coat, we have to do the gentle smoothing on the first coat. So that's what I'm going to do. I will smooth just gently, and then later I apply the second coat.
Hope you enjoyed the lesson.
Once again, we have learned a lot from this.
As usual, you can find this video on the e-learning website of Rwanda Polytechnic for more repetition.
We welcome you again for the next session.
Until then, stay safe and
Goodbye.